What's wrong?
I was just worried about your response.
You've done a brilliant job, mate. Brilliant job.
Welcome back to Hollywood Bulletin, your go-to place for the most unexpected turns in television history. And today's story might just leave you speechless. Because while the repair shop won millions of hearts, what unfolded behind the scenes could shake its very foundation. No one saw it coming. Not the loyal viewers, not the network, not even those who believed the show was simply a gentle escape about fixing broken treasures. As audiences tune in for joyful reunions and emotional restorations, something else was slowly breaking. Not a clock or a toy, but the calm and trusted image at the heart of it all. Behind the scenes, tensions quietly escalated, and without warning, the BBC suddenly pulled episodes from rotation. Jay Blades vanished from the spotlight, and amid the uncertainty, Steve Fletcher made a quiet move that stunned fans and changed the entire atmosphere around the show. The repair shop didn't make a loud entrance when it premiered on March 27, 2017 on BBC Two, produced by Ricochet Productions. But its heartwarming concept, expert restorers fixing items of deep emotional value at no cost, quickly found a place in the hearts of viewers. Filmed at the Weald and Downland Living Museum in West Sussex, the rustic setting matched the show's gentle pace and emotional sincerity. Viewers connected with the respect and care each item received, and it wasn't long before the repair shop moved to BBC One, becoming a daytime TV juggernaut with over 14 seasons and more than 300 episodes. The format expanded globally to Australia, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and in 2023, it won a National Television Award for Best Daytime Show, solidifying its cultural impact. At the heart of the show were its restorers, particularly Steve Fletcher, a master horologist from a family of clockmakers whose quiet precision made him a fan favorite. But the emotional soul of the show became Jay Blades, a furniture restorer whose path to fame was anything but smooth. Jay's story is rooted in hardship. Raised in poverty by his hard-working mother, Barbara, Jay learned to live with less and discovered an early appreciation for repurposing and restoring discarded furniture. But deeper struggles loomed. His father was absent, and as Jay later found out, had fathered 25 other children across multiple countries. That absence carved an emotional scar. Racism, trauma, and educational setbacks followed. Undiagnosed dyslexia led Jay to leave school without qualifications, and he didn't learn the extent of his reading challenges until age 31. Even then, he survived by hiding his illiteracy, using voice notes, avoiding written communication, and faking understanding. In 2022, Jay faced his greatest vulnerability publicly by filming the documentary Jay Blades, Learning to Read at 51, where he confronted his lifelong struggle with literacy. The program showed him slowly, bravely learning to read with the help of tutors, and it revealed how much shame he had carried for so long. Yet the show also became a symbol of hope and resilience, a mirror of Jay's deeper philosophy restoring not just objects, but broken pieces of oneself. But Jay's struggles didn't stop there. In 2015, he faced the collapse of his furniture-focused charity Out of the Dark due to financial issues, followed by the end of his marriage. Homeless, he lived in his car and spiraled into a period of mental health crisis. At one point, he was reported missing. But with the support of a close friend and the healing power of therapy, Jay began to piece himself back together. In 2017, just as he was recovering, the repair shop offered him a lifeline and a new purpose. For a while, he stayed focused and kept his personal life quiet. But in 2024, tragedy struck again when his uncle, Richard Brathwaite, passed away unexpectedly. Jay withdrew from public life, canceled appearances, and opened up about needing professional help to cope. His openness about grief and mental health won him even more respect. But just as he started to find his footing again, a controversy erupted that would rock the show and its fan base. In November 2024, Jay Blades was charged with controlling and coercive behavior toward his wife Lisa Maurice Boson, whom he had married. In 2022, the alleged incident spanned months and stood in stark contrast to the compassionate, image Jay had long projected. The news spread quickly. Headlines exploded, social media lit up, and reactions ranged from disbelief to outrage. The BBC acted fast, pulling certain episodes and editing Jay out of reruns. Jay withdrew from all public platforms, stepped down from his role as university chancellor, and left the repair shop indefinitely. With a trial set for August 2025, a year of silence, speculation, and scrutiny began. Viewers were split. Some defended Jay, others believed the charges warranted distance, and many simply didn't know what to believe. But through it all, one cast member's quiet actions spoke volumes. Steve Fletcher didn't make any public statements. He didn't denounce Jay or defend him. But in the middle of the silence, Steve posted a photo that reignited the entire conversation. In the image, he and Jay stood side by side, smiling, arms around each other, with a caption about sharing a cup of tea. For many fans, this wasn't just a friendly visit. It was a statement. Was Steve offering support? Was he showing loyalty? Was it forgiveness? The post went viral. Some praised Steve for sticking by a friend in difficult times. Others criticized him for seeming to dismiss the seriousness of the allegations. The BBC remained silent, letting the show's format speak for itself. But fans couldn't ignore the change. Jay's absence left a void that Steve, whether he wanted to or not, now had to fill. As Steve quietly stepped forward in episodes, his presence began to carry more weight. No longer just the expert clockmaker, Steve became the calm anchor in a show navigating uncharted emotional territory. But his decision to maintain a friendship with Jay raised difficult questions. What does loyalty look like when someone is facing serious legal charges? Is it right to remain silent? Can compassion exist without complicity? For Steve, a man known for humility and kindness, the answers are less about headlines and more about personal conviction. His choice not to publicly judge or defend Jay reveals the murky space many people occupy when friends fall into crisis. You didn't abandon Jay, but he didn't excuse his actions either. Instead, he made a quiet decision to remain present for someone whose world had collapsed. In an age of social media outrage and instant condemnation, that silence is louder than any press release. The repair shop has always been about healing and restoration, not just of things, but of people. And as it enters this new era, it's clear that the line between public and private, loyalty and liability, has become harder to define. Jay's rise and fall is a cautionary tale about how quickly things can unravel, even for someone seen as a symbol of resilience. But it's also a reminder of the complexity behind the scenes, where human relationships don't always follow simple narratives. And through it all, Steve Fletcher remains quiet, steady, and perhaps more than ever, the emotional compass of the show. His silence, his decision, his loyalty, they may never be fully explained, but they remind us that sometimes the hardest choices aren't the ones we shout, they're the ones we live with. So, what do you think? Should Steve Fletcher have distanced himself from Jay Blades, or did he do the right thing by showing support in silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the real stories behind your favorite shows.